Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. I want to sing that song, Oh How I Wish I Were a Child Again, or not necessarily a child, but a youth, because once again, my DNS is doing things for the youth of our nation. And right now we'll be speaking about the Youth Aquaculture Project, which launches its second cohort. To do so, we're speaking with Raemona Braithwaite, a Technical Coordinator, Project Management, as well as Kerri, Griffith, Technical Coordinator, Student and Stakeholder Engagement. Good morning, ladies. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Definitely our pleasure. So we have an idea in terms of like the distinction between aquaculture and aquaponics. Aquaculture is mostly a closed-loop system where you're using fish. But in terms of the overview, why decide, okay, well, this is the way to go to have a project like this, an aquaculture project?
Well, the Aquaculture Project is a strategic social intervention by the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. It is a one-year full-time training program which equips trainees with both the theoretical and practical knowledge required in managing their own farming enterprises, particularly in aquaculture.
Now, the fact that you're having a second cohort means that it seems as though things went all right with the first one. So what are some of the ways that you would have gotten that target grouping, Ms. Griffith, in terms of saying, okay, well, this is the way that people would have been able to form part of the second cohort?
All right. So with the first cohort, well, we would have intake our students last year around September. They are currently in their third semester. They'll be on their way out shortly. And as you know, we are doing a national campaign trying to more or less intake our second cohort. We select from a diverse background. So, yeah.
And what are some of those who, in terms of, this seems as though it's a big project, it's a big idea. Who are some of the main players in terms of partners, stakeholders?
So, to speak about that, I would like to speak also about what the program is about, because in that we'll see who are the stakeholders. So the project is comprised of three components. Our first component is the aquaculture training. So the students undergo a one-year intensive training program delivered by the University of the West Indies, where they receive professional certification in tropical aquaculture production and management. Within that, they learn about water quality management, broadstock management, entrepreneurial development, and a host of other topics. Our second component is our infrastructural development. The students transition into entrepreneurial development and employment creation. So we partnered here with the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries and the Ministry of Education to establish these youth aquaculture cooperatives at the aquaculture facilities at Bamboo, Waterloo and Londonville. Our third component is our business advisory and support services. So this is where the ministry provides dedicated support to the participants. They receive technical assistance in marketing, production, value chain analysis, so that they are able to maintain and sustain all in which they've learned through the services at the ministry. So we engage our management committee, our brand ambassador, our cooperative division at the ministry. And throughout their time with us, we've partnered with key stakeholders to provide additional support and certification to the students. So they'll be certified in good manufacturing practices through NANDEFCO, entrepreneurial development through NEDCO, finfish handling through CFTDI, cooperative development through Cipriani Labour College, and life skills through our very own Professor Anne-Marie Bissessa at the ministry. So with these three components, you would hear that we've engaged a lot of stakeholders to ensure that students receive a holistic experience in learning through our project.
And the way that you talk about that, and some of these partners, many of these partners, it seems as though there is the opportunity to have prolonged sort of engagement. So I want to come back to you to talk about sustainability, because it feels as though it's not just, okay, well, this cohort is finished, go forth and prosper.
Yes.
But before that, though, I want to ask Ms. Griffith, because we got an idea from Ms. Braithwaite, some of the areas in terms of Londonville, Bamboo, Waterloo, and we also heard one of the places in terms like UWI. But where are the areas? What are the locations? And what are some of those resources that are used for a project like this, Ms. Griffith?
Okay, so we mainly train our students out of the University of the West Indies Field Station in Mount Hope. But as previously mentioned, we also have different sites where we rotate them through, namely the Sugarcane Feed Center, the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Bamboo Facility, and the Whiteup Waterloo Facility. We are currently in the process of looking into more locations because we do have an internship process that our current cohort will be going into in September. So once they enter that internship, we will place them in different locations across the country, and they will get further opportunities to practice the skills and knowledge that they would have gained throughout the program and put it into a more practical sense.
Can people suggest their spaces or areas as one of those locations that you're looking for, or is it that you'll do it on your own?
Oh, we are definitely open to suggestions. We are aware of a few of the players in the industry, but we are open to suggestions because we do want our students to have the most holistic training experience.
And there's that word again in terms of like that holistic experience. Long-term sustainability. Cohorts who are finished, or like this cohort one that is finishing, what are some of the things that you all have put in place in the system to ensure long-term viability and sustainability of the enterprises?
So one of the benefits of the program is the formation of young cooperative. So we take these students and basically create employers. So they are able to utilize all in which they've learned and apply it within the cooperative in which they would form through their learning at the university.
And I like the fact that as opposed to just looking for work, you have people who are actually making work and offering work opportunities to individuals as well. So that benefits more than just the person who passes through the cohort. It also benefits the community that that person is a part of. And with that in mind, do you have success stories already? Do you have people who said, okay, well, I came in with kind of mixed emotions, but no, this is working and I see where I can scale up, I see where I can get my family involved. Do you all have stories like that already to share?
No, this project began in 2023 and it's a one-year project. So we just finished our first cohort and then we begin our second cohort. So the success stories should begin within the next year.
So we're looking for them though. But what's the size of the cohort?
100 students.
And I really believe that almost everything that we've seen thus far has been oversubscribed in the sense that people are seeing the value. And I think that's really important when people realize, no man, this can make a difference to me. This is something that I want to do. But in terms of, people like to talk about KPIs, key objectives. What are some of those indicators that you're looking for? So what are some of those main goals, main objectives that you want to check off and say, okay, well, we're making these check marks and we're getting these things done?
So the main goals and aims of the program, both long-term and mid-term, short-term, we'd like to create a strong cohort of more or less commercial aquaculture farmers that through the formation of the cooperatives, we'd also like to increase the productivity and participation of our youth in the field of agriculture. We'd like to create a not strong, but agribusiness opportunities for our students, as you mentioned, so that they can become employers themselves and have a lot of ripple benefits. And as you know, once we increase the food production, we will by extension increase the gross domestic production, and we can have potential to decrease our food import bill. So it has a rich amount of socioeconomic benefits. It is sustainable. It is climate friendly. It is a very comprehensive project.
And you're saying that, Ms. Griffith, and I see Ms. Braithwaite nodding, and you all are very involved in this. But I want to ask, what has been the thing that has been most rewarding for you being a part of this program, this project at this point in time? And I think I'll ask both of you, Ms. Braithwaite.
So for me, is seeing the students enjoy the program. It is intensive. It is engaging. So the students, seeing them on the field and seeing them in classes, seeing them enjoy the program, it tells us we are doing the right thing. And in addition, we also see that persons tell their friend about it, because it's not just about being in the program, but it's about sharing the word of the program and all that we offer at the MyDNS.
And I really appreciate how comprehensive the program is. Like, they really thought about the steps from start to finish. As you mentioned, we are not just, we are training them, we are giving them the experience, and then we are assisting them post-training. So it's a start to finish program, more or less. And I also love to see the students, how some of them would have come in with their own initiatives and own businesses, and they are implementing a lot of the knowledge and the life skills that we are passing on to them within their own industries. So we can see that it has significant ripple effects going forward, and the community development and youth development that will come out of this is exponential.
That's sounding like success stories already. And it's just going to be taking off and even more from there. But one of the things, though, I really appreciate, as you said, is comprehensive, is also holistic, because I think sometimes when people say agriculture, certain visions and images come to mind. But looking at the fact that agriculture, agribusiness, being an agri-entrepreneur can look different ways. It's not just back-breaking work. There are nuances and levels to it. But someone looking at this conversation now, and they're trying to say, is this something that can be brought to my community? What are the steps to go about to get that done?
Well, I'll start. So we have applications open right now, which will be extended currently till July the 10th. So we have online and physical applications. So to get access to the online applications, you'll visit www.mydns.gov.tt. You look for the application form and you submit your relevant documents. For physical applications, we have 3 locations: the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service Head Office at Elizabeth Street in Port of Spain. You can also go to the University of the West Indies, Faculty of Food and Agriculture, and we also have a drop-off center at the California Youth Development Center in Gallery Street in California. So, but we ask that students have on hand, and potential participants have on hand things like their birth certificate, their national ID, police certificate of character. We'll accept the receipts if you don't have it in time. We're looking for letters of recommendation. And if you have anything suggesting that you have an active interest in the field of agriculture, that will definitely work in your favor.
All right, thank you so much. We have about 2 minutes, but let me ask you about the money now, Ms. Braithwaite. How is this supported? What's the financial support? What does that structure look like?
Well, it is a stipend-based program based on attendance. So we essentially are paying you to learn. I don't want to say it's a salary, but the stipend is to ensure you can come to class, to learn, and you should be able to head back home.
Definitely something to help you invest in yourself.
Yes.
And in closing, what is the one thing that you want individuals to know about this launch of the second cohort? And like 20 seconds each, thank you.
So the ministry really encourages all participants between the ages of 16 to 35 with a keen interest in agriculture to really dive in and take advantage of this opportunity. We've created this program in such a way where youth could participate. As we've said several times, it's holistic. So even if you venture off into something else later on in life, you would have had certification in many of the programs in which I've called earlier from the organizations. So really just dive in, take advantage of the opportunity. We will be here to encourage you, guide you, motivate you to take that step with us, and you will enjoy it. It is a comprehensive program, as Ms. Griffith said.
And Ms. Griffith, don't vex with me for telling Ms. Braithwaite, take it 20 seconds. We'll be all right. Well, thank you very much, Technical Coordinator, Student and Stakeholder Engagement, Ms. Kerri Griffith, as well as Technical Coordinator, Project Management, Raemona Braithwaite, talking about the launch of Cohort 2 of the Youth Aquaculture Project. So, if you are in that catchment age and you are of that persuasion, do not miss the opportunity. The Now Morning Show continues after this. Stay with us.